Hey guys, so I will more than likely do a full review of this course, which is the Freedom of Christ course. But I want to go through what the Holy Spirit revealed to me during the steps day. So basically, the steps day is basically you and God, and you go through different sections, and it's basically about closing doors, removing bondages, that kind of thing. So I thought this may be helpful for any of you guys. I'm not going to reveal everything in detail because it is more of a personal thing, but there's some things that I feel that may be helpful. Now, the first thing is the first step we did was we actually looked at things that we did before meeting Christ. So that could be Buddhism, things that go against God, horoscopes, crystals, New Age, that kind of thing. And the idea is to pray on it, ask for forgiveness, close that door completely. Now, what I got and what God revealed to me is with our past, it's best to kind of just don't even entertain it whatsoever. So, for example, for me, in my teens, I was obsessed with horoscopes. I would have to look at a horoscope before the start of my day. That's how bad it was. That was like the thing that I used to do, and even though I stopped reading horoscopes, I still was like, my horoscope is Scorpio. This is my personality type, which, by the way, a horoscope doesn't define our personality. Just pointing that out. So for me, I would still maybe entertain it slightly, but it's best to completely stay away from things like that. So, like, for example, if you're an alcoholic, and I know sometimes alcoholics will say, "Oh, I was an alcoholic, but I can now just drink one alcohol like once a week or something." But it's best to actually just completely stay away from that, because then the door is still kind of open and you could end up going like back. So what I got is like all the things, just completely stay away with it as well. And I don't want to mention as well, for me as well, I used to be obsessed with vampires. Like, I used to be obsessed with vampires, and it felt like, again, just stay away from it. Like, don't even read books on vampires, because again, it's kind of a door that's still like halfway open, which could then fully release again. So it's best that when it comes to like past and things that you've done, is to completely kind of stay away from it. Just completely stay away from it. Again, it's more of a personal thing between you and God, but that's what I felt God was saying to me anyway. It's just to completely kind of shut that door. Don't even entertain it anymore completely. Another thing as well, which is kind of obvious, I mean, it says it in Acts, but there's some other stuff in there that you may not think of throwing away. So it basically throw away things that could cause you temptation to sin. So, like, for example, sexual sin. You may have things that are still in the house which you've completely forgotten, but it's still there, and it's still there that could tempt you. Just throw everything away, because obviously in Acts it mentions the occult stuff. So, like, the the spell books and everything like that. It mentions that, but actually you should throw everything away. So anything, like, go through houses, anything that could cause you or tempt you to sin, just completely throw it away. Now, another thing as well that I feel that God was telling me is, when we try and do things at our own strength instead of going, without the Holy Spirit, we get burned out because we're trying to use our own strength. So we get completely burned out and causes a lot of stress. So the idea is, don't use all your strength. That's why the Holy Spirit is there. The Holy Spirit's there to help you. So when you need help, go to the Holy Spirit. Don't do everything in your own strength, because it's just, you're gonna just burn out. Now, another thing I'm going to mention, which I recommend everyone do, and that is, we did a section on forgiveness. Now, on the Thursday, we did look at forgiveness, and at that point, I felt the Holy Spirit was literally telling me, there's people that you thought you've forgiven, which you actually haven't fully forgiven properly, and it's causing kind of trauma. Now, I didn't kind of think that past relationships has caused me trauma until when we did that section, and it was heavy. It was heavy. I literally thought I was gonna cry. It's quite emotional. But you just ask the Holy Spirit, is there people, is there people that I've not fully forgiven? And you'd be quite surprised. You will literally be quite surprised. And the names that came up, all the names were the people in like past relationships, and literally came to the conclusion is that I hadn't fully, processed the situation and fully forgiven them, and so that's kind of caused kind of a ripple effect where I'm afraid to go into another relationship with somebody, because in case this whole thing all happens again, that was a stronghold that the enemy used, because I hadn't fully forgiven this person. I hadn't fully, processed the situation either. But that was quite kind of like a tough section to do. But I do recommend that you kind of do that, because when it comes to kind of like forgiveness and stuff, you'd be surprised, because you think you're forgiven somebody, but actually it's not a full of forgiveness. You may have just said it and actually you've not forgiven this person, or a traumatic event, you've not either processed it properly, and it's kind of caused kind of this ripple effect, and it's changed your suspect your what's the word what's the word again? Suspective. I can't think of the word, but it's kind of changed your view basically on that kind of situation, and it's caused kind of like you to build this wall, and it's then that kind of thing basically. But that one's one which I was fully surprised, because I never thought these like things that happened was that traumatic. But for me personally, I have issues of kind of, I don't process trauma very well, or I don't process I tend to try and run away from that sort of thing. I don't process like things that have happened in my life like in like a normal way. I kind of try and push it to the side, and that's what causes like trauma and everything. But I do recommend that you do that, because again, when it comes to like forgiveness and stuff like that, if you're not fully forgiving this person, it can actually affect it can affect the way you think about that situation, or it could be a thing that's causing you like mental anguish, that kind of thing. But I do definitely recommend that you actually do that and spend time with God and ask, is there any people that I thought I've forgiven, or people I've forgotten that I need to forgive, that's may be causing a stronghold, or that's left this door open for the enemy to take advantage of. But yeah, that's kind of all the different things that I felt the Holy Spirit was telling me that may be useful to you. As I said, just as a quick rundown, don't get involved in anything you were involved in the past, because then the door's not fully closed. Just fully close that door. Remember that don't do everything in your own strength, because it's going to cause you stress, it's going to cause you burnout. That's the reason why the Holy Spirit is there. The Holy Spirit is there to help you and to give you strength. Don't try and do anything by your own strength. Throw away anything that may cause you to sin. Everything, not just occult stuff. There's many different things that can that you may need to throw away that causes you to sin. And look into your life and see, is the people that I've not actually properly forgiven, because that may be a stronghold and a door that's open that's causing you issues, and not to fully like process the situation and everything like that. I know forgiveness is one of those hard ones for every Christian to kind of deal with, because depending on what that person has done, but it is really important that you do kind of get to the process where you do forgive that person, because as I said, there's things the enemy is using, and you may not even notice it. You may not have noticed it until the Holy Spirit tells you, and you're like, oh, okay, that's why this and this, or this is why I stay away from this and this, or which ends up like being not normal, if that makes any sense.